ഗുഡ് മോർണിംഗ്. നമുക്കറിയാം ഇനിയിപ്പോൾ CTET എക്സാം ഉണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ എടുക്കാൻ പോകുന്ന ക്ലാസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന 6th സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് ഹിസ്റ്ററിയുടെ ചാപ്റ്റർ 1നെ ബേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള കുറച്ച് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻഡ് ആൻസേഴ്സ് ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ കേട്ട് പഠിക്കാം. ഓക്കെ, ലെറ്റ്സ് ബിഗിൻ. 6th സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് ഹിസ്റ്ററി ചാപ്റ്റർ 1, ലൊക്കേറ്റിംഗ് പ്ലേസസ് ഓൺ ദ എർത്ത്. ഓക്കെ, ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് വാട്ട് ഈസ് ആൻ അറ്റ്ലസ്? എന്താണ് അറ്റ്ലസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്? വാട്ട് ഈസ് ആൻ അറ്റ്ലസ്? അറ്റ്ലസ് മീൻസ് എ കളക്ഷൻ ഓഫ് മാപ്പ് കോൾഡ് അറ്റ്ലസ്. ഓക്കെ, വാട്ട് ഈസ് ആൻ അറ്റ്ലസ്? കളക്ഷൻ ഓഫ് മാപ്പ് കോൾഡ് അറ്റ്ലസ്. Second question, which type of map shows natural features such as mountains, oceans and rivers? Second question, which type of map shows natural features such as mountains, oceans and rivers? Physical map. Third question, what does a political map primarily display? What does a political map primarily display? Countries, states and boundaries. Countries, states and boundaries. Fourth question, what is a thematic map used for? What is a thematic map used for? Answer, displaying specific types of information. Displaying specific types of information. Fifth question, what is the purpose of map scale? What is the purpose of map scale? Answer, to show the actual distance between 2 points on the map. To show the actual distance between 2 points on the map. Sixth question, which direction does the top of a map usually point to? Which direction does the top of a map usually point to? Okay, north. Answer, north. Seventh question, what are the 4 cardinal direction? What are the 4 cardinal direction? North, east, south, west. North, east, south and west. Next question, what are intermediate direction? What are intermediate direction? Directions such as northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. That is called intermediate direction. Next question, what does the letter N usually signify on a map? What does the letter N usually signify on a map? Answer, north. Answer, north. Next question, why are symbols used on map? Why are symbols used on map? Answer, to represent features when there isn't enough space to draw them. To represent features when there is not enough space to draw them. Next question, what is latitude? What is latitude? Latitude means the distance from the prime meridian. The distance from the equator is the right answer. The distance from the equator. What is latitude? The distance from the equator is called latitude. Next question, which line represents 0 degree latitude? Which line represents 0 degree latitude? Answer, equator. 0 degree latitude ഏതാണ്? equator. Next question, what are the latitudes of the north and south poles? What are the latitudes of the north and south poles? 180 degree north, 90 degree north and 90 degree south. Correct answer. Next question, how does latitude affect climate? How does latitude affect climate? The climate becomes colder as latitude increases towards the poles. What are meridians of longitude? What are meridians of longitude? Imaginary lines running from the North Pole to the South Pole. Next question, what is the prime meridian? What is the prime meridian? A line at 0 degree longitude. A line at 0 degree longitude. Next question, through which location does the prime meridian pass? Greenwich, London. What is the longitude of New York? What is the longitude of New York? 74 degree west. 74 degree west. Next question. How many degrees does the earth rotate in 1 hour? How many degrees does the earth rotate in 1 hour? 50 degree. 50 degree. Next question. What is Indian Standard Time relative to Greenwich Mean Time? IST relative to GMT. Okay. Answer 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of GMT. Next question, what is the international dateline? What is the international dateline? A line approximately at 180 degree longitude called international dateline. Next question, what happens when you cross the international dateline eastward? What happens when you cross the international dateline eastward? You lose a day. Answer, you lose a day. Next question, which Indian city had its own prime meridian in ancient times? Which Indian city had its own prime meridian in ancient times? Ujjain. Answer, Ujjain. Next question, what is the term for the lines of latitude and longitude together? What is the term? What is the term for the lines of latitude and longitude together? Grid lines. Next question, why do most countries adopt a standard time based on a meridian? To simplify timekeeping within the country. Next question, what is the connection between latitude and climate near the equator? What is the connection between latitude and climate near the equator? Answer, the climate is generally hot. Answer, the climate is generally hot. Next question, what imaginary line is used to measure what imaginary line is used to measure longitude? Answer, prime meridian. Okay, prime meridian is the answer. Prime meridian. Okay. Next question, what happens to the size of circles marked by parallels of latitude as you move from the equator towards the poles? They grow smaller. Answer, they grow smaller. Next question, how often does the earth complete a full rotation around its axis? Every 24 hours. Every 24 hours. Next question, what does the 0 degree longitude line represent? What does the 0 degree longitude line represent? Answer. The starting point for measuring longitude. The starting point for measuring longitude.